Folks, it's chilly.
Yep.
And it's Friday, and there's a cat running around. Well, so I don't have an efficient heater system set up yet, so it's a little chilly in here. I kept trying to cut corners, and not spend as much as you might have to spend to get a heater that does the job, and the first one sucked, so I bought another one, and that one sucked. Together, they almost work.
Didn't you have another one before you bought that one, and it
Is that one melting?
What?
Look at the top.
It's not melting. No, it's not.
No, look at the top edge. It's not sharp anymore. Wonder if it's made like that. I don't remember. Was there one that was before this?
Yeah, and then you sent it back because it sucked, and then you bought that one because it looked neat.
It looks like an iPod.
And then you bought the Gonk Droid.
Yeah, this other heater, it isn't bad, but yeah, it looks like if you took a Gonk Droid and you made it out of wood. Except it doesn't have legs. I could put it on legs. In fact, that was my plan, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. I was going to make Gonk Droid, legs for it for standing.
Wow, your cat has a lot to say about everything.
She's pissed off, man. Nothing is going her way. Nothing.
Cricket.
Anyway, it's Friday. Here we are, freezing to death. What? Are you trying to get her up there?
Yeah.
Cricket. She says, "Who are you, buddy? Come on.
No, she doesn't like you today. Ah, there she is.
Oh, there she is. My smacky. Come here. She just did that squeak thing.
I hope that you could hear it.
Yep, it's true. So, hey, do you want to do wrist check?
Sure.
Okay, all right. Okay, so let's do it.
I am wearing what I basically always wear. Sorry, I'm boring.
You're not bored.
Why is it focusing in and out weird?
It's an art film.
It's an art film?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Now, this is one, people are like, oh, that's really cool. This is, full disclosure, I built this out of bits and parts and pieces and stuff. It's genuine Rolex movement, reloomed hands. It's a reprinted dial. That is an original insert. That's an original crown. You're making it get in and out
of focus.
Any case, point being, aftermarket bracelet. Point being that this looks nice, but I made it out of bits. And I am wearing a watch that is pertinent to a question that's coming up later. 7548 7000C JDM with that beautiful tangerine orange that Seiko just does so well. I'm fiddling around with a mod, trying to make sort of a junior piece. If I had a black insert, but I don't have one. But anyway, this is a mod I'm going to call the Solbrook. So anyway, the deal with that thing on her wrist, I know people think it's awesome, and it is, but I built it out of parts. The movement's 100% original Rolex and other things and bits and pieces that I've turned in over the years, so it looks great. But I would never try to, do anything with it other than that. Any case, let's go for it.
Okay, so here we go. Denny Solg. I think people are going back to watching older videos because there's been no new stuff. Not that we don't appreciate everything else, but a lot of us come here to see you work your magic on vintage Seiko watches.
It's just been, it's been one of the weirdest years of our lives. It's been a weird year.
Yes.
And it just kind of keeps rolling. We're happy to have Sabrina still here with us and alive. That might not have happened.
Well, I'm not gonna.
You're not gonna go into that.
Nope.
All right, but anyway, so she's with us, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. And I've got all this wacky family stuff.
Well, I don't feel like going into that.
I don't either, but believe me, it's a twist none of us saw coming, even me. She's gonna tip that thing over.
Oh, jeez. Cricket. No, I know it's made of worm.
Now she thinks you're going to whap at her.
I lost my shoe.
Cat drama.
I know it's made of worm.
Ow. Oh,
Why
cracking.
don't you make her a spot in front of
the fire?
The fire?
The electric fire? Well, I don't know how I'm going to do that, though. I mean, I don't know. No, she's so pissed off. All she wants is dinner. She doesn't want any of this stuff, any of this nonsense. Anyway, yeah. So I haven't been making any new content because I haven't actually been doing a lot of customer work. I've been doing private work. I've been like for myself or for watches that we're going to flip. But my focus has absolutely been focusing not on that. So also a number of the people that I did do work for opted to not have a video made. So, there's that. They can save some money on it. But I'd like to think that I'm getting closer to being back in the saddle.
You're back in the saddle again?
I guess so. I just, I just want to have normal weeks that we can plan on everything instead of repeated explosions.
Well, I'm sorry about next week then, but at least you get to sleep.
What's happening next week?
It's Thanksgiving break.
Oh, okay. Well, I hadn't thought about that. Oh, shoot, the turkey.
Right, we have to take out a turkey.
Okay, I'll make a note. I'll think about it. I'll put a mental note in. So anyway, sorry about the lack of new content, but I do have a lot of old content.
Yes. Okay, am I moving to the next one? He
Why
has
not?
no idea what questions I picked out.
No, she did.
We're going old school.
No idea.
Except for unlike the super early videos, I kind of know a little more now. Okay. Joseph Stewart. I know Citizen watches are typically harder for you to restore due to parts availability, but I am wondering if you've ever had a chance to look at or work on one of the old Aqualand divers. The specific models I'm speaking of are the C02222324 models with the big ass depth gauge at the 9 o'clock position.
Mm-hmm.
I recently acquired the present day model, a JP2000, and absolutely love it. I need to know what this looks like.
Yeah, it has sort of this big honking thing on the side. If it's one of the original ones you're talking about, and assuming I'm thinking of the right watch, like a lot of watches from that era, the ones that I'm remembering always seem to be terribly water damaged. And water can do just awful things to a watch.
Really?
Like really quickly. Like, that's the thing. It's like, oh, I got a little bit of water inside my watch. No, can't have that. So every one that I've seen, for the most part, except for a couple NOS ones, were just these water-stained, beaten wrecks. I've never really seen one up close and personal. Did you just send me something?
No, Sadie asked if she could come get a snack, and I said no. Okay.
Well, she's quiet. I don't care.
No, I said no.
You said no.
I said no. Here.
So did Kraken. Kraken said no.
Here, this is what this watch is.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So it's kind of like their answer to an Arnie, maybe. But it's I've those kind of antidigis like that one, again, if they get any water inside, they really have troubles very quickly. I don't know. Be interesting maybe to come up with one and poke at it. It just so happens that today I actually was digging around in my Citizen material just randomly, and I didn't know there was a Citizen question.
Oh.
And I looked at your Brad Pitt, and I looked at I know. The thing is, I'm going to have to kill a rather good other Citizen chronograph to bring that one back to life. So I've been kind of avoiding doing that.
Oh, thanks.
Well, no, I hate, scavenging parts from a running watch running. I'll look at it. Wait,
I'm your wife.
Wait a second. Actually, I think I'm wrong. I think I did already take that main plate. And I happened to have found another one when I was digging through. I don't know. I'll have to look at it.
I am your wife. You're not wasting parts on me.
Yeah, the other watch is cool, though.
Well, then why don't you wear it?
Because I've never gotten around to rebuilding it. Oh. I've had it since, long before Sebastian was born. Mm-hmm. So I'll get to it any day now.
Any day. Okay. CMB. Hi, when researching my Seiko Astronaut, I found some images of one worn by an astronaut and my serial number was 40 or so close in production numbers. I imported mine from Florida a decade ago. Would be nice to think it was one that had gone to space at some point. I bet it did.
Sure, why not?
I'm hopeful.
I'm hopeful too. the thing is there's no database that I know of that lists those watches. There's only a couple. I know one guy who's actually one of the old school dudes he was with in NASA during the shuttle program, and he owns one of these. I redid his, so I have that serial number, but they were all private purchase. They were never issued. It's just whenever people would chug down to the local watch-o-mart and, spin through the watches, decide where they're going to get. So, yeah, I don't think there'd be any specific number, though it'd be cool. It'd be nice to have a database, because it's like, how many of those things went up in S? I mean, really, how many?
Could you get a database of it?
We have to start asking people questions, but there's probably no way to do it. I mean, if you were really dedicated and you really pushed it.
I would think that they would have a record of who got what watch.
Well, yeah, except they're all private purchase. They weren't issued by NASA.
I understand. Okay.
Yeah, so it's just like, you'd have to find people from NASA who still had theirs. So I guess it's time to start our letter writing campaign.
Sven Dupiewicz. My guess is that the leather solution is silicon-based. Bickmore 4, for example. I use tire conditioner to reinvigorate some plastics and rubbers, also silicon-based.
I didn't think silicon was like reactive. I thought silicon was just silicon. It doesn't...
Did I pronounce it wrong?
What?
Silicon?
No, silicon, I don't know.
I don't know.
It doesn't have any secret letters in it or anything.
I know.
I never thought of silicone as being anything more than just a thing that makes things shiny. I've never known it to be penetrative and to bring suppleness back to rubber. That's very interesting. Does anybody else have any information on this? Because if I'm incorrect about the neutralness of silicon, I'd like to know that. That would be a real good thing to know. The only thing I ever remember hearing about, Armor All, which was obviously silicon.
What the frig is going on outside?
Snowblower? It's freaking... is that a helicopter?
No. But it sounds like it's over there.
I can hear it changing position.
It's just a freaking snowblower. How often do people get to use them?
I have no idea. Did I finish answering the question? I got completely distracted.
I don't know, because I was thinking about the knife.
So was I. What was the question?
Saying it was about the silicon.
Any case, but I don't want to find out that I'm incorrect about silicon, because I've always just thought of it as just silicon.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so these are about the dial you did loom work on.
Which dial is this? You mean this?
In the last week's
the
video.
6105?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't around for that part.
Yep.
It's
the 6105 I did most recently. Bought it from the original owner, and I cleaned the loom up.
I didn't know that was the one you put into the video.
The very same.
Okay. Sidewalk Astronomy Netherlands. That Seiko sure looks way better. At first it looked like it had been through a meteor storm.
It had a lot of water that sat in it for a real long time. And it pulled a lot of the salt into solution, and that's why you see all those white areas around it. But the actual surface of the dial wasn't bad. The black surfaces, whatever they put on there, though, like acetone won't even touch it. The printing did get a little lighter. What are you going to do? But, man, that loom came out well, didn't it? I was very pleased with that. And now we have 3 6105s. Woo. One for each child.
Okay.
Or 2 for Kraken and 1 for Rocket.
What about Finny?
Oh, we can give him one too, but he won't understand it at all.
No, we'll put it on him somehow, and it'll tick, 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 and he'll be freaking out about where's that noise coming from.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
His tail is 13 inches long.
Really?
Yes.
I wonder how long Kraken's is.
Not that long.
Huh. I bet the world record is 17 or 18 for a domestic house cat, not counting Maine Coons.
Okay. World record.
House cat tail?
For house cat tail 17.58.
Can I call it? Or can
Wait,
I?
wait. I have to see. Is it on a Maine Coon though?
I think they should.
It was Maine Coon.
Okay, so I guess we'll have to do some more research.
Oh wait, this one is a pretty freaking long tail. Is that one a Maine Coon?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maine Coons have giant long fur. They're
Yeah,
kind
I
of
know,
like
but
brown,
they have,
gray,
like,
black.
Weird ears. God, our neighbor in Providence had one. It was the stupidest freaking cat.
Wait, that thing was a Maine Coon?
It was part Maine Coon. That's why he was so big and fat.
He was incredibly big and really stupid. Like, there was this one night, and there was just, it was evening, and there were all these little white butterflies everywhere. Little teeny flapping little white butterflies. They're not
Moths.
Moths or whatever they are, moths. And they were not speed demons. And this cat was incapable of catching one. He was trying. Ooh, he was giving it the best. Didn't get a one.
Or he'd be sitting outside our door, and I'd have the only, the screen, and I'd look at him and go,
Yeah, he'd be looking into our apartment hissing at us. He was an amazing cat.
what the frick was his
Not
name?
as amazing as you, Smackies. She just glared at me.
I can't remember what that dog's name was. Principe.
Oh, yeah.
Ah.
That's right.
There. Okay. Xavier Hipkin. Hi, Spencer. Love
That's a
your...
pretty great name.
Okay.
Xavier Hipkin. That's a good name. No joke. I'm not making fun. Truly.
Hi, Spencer. Love your content. You have changed my life with your videos.
What? Well, I hope for the better.
I am now an avid Seiko collector. Can you please pass on the secret on how you cleaned up the loom on that dial? You have helped me from afar so many times when rebuilding Seiko watches. I really appreciate your help.
Well, it's one of these things people are like, hey, man, you got to tell me how to do that. And the thing that always worries me, every time I get into one of these dials, every single one is slightly different. The challenges are always different from dial to dial. I have made some absolute messes with dials way back in the beginning. What was that?
I think it was snow melting.
And it's just, I have a method to do it. I have a couple stage method to do it. But some of the things I do or not do or do more of or less of, depending on the condition of the dial. I always hesitate to sort of disclose this secret. It's not like I'm making any extra money from it. I don't sell the formula.
Can it be a trade secret?
Sure, it can be a trade secret, but my big fear, and this really is my big fear, that someone's going to say, oh, well, he can do it, and here's the formula, and they're going to try it, and they'll jack their dial up.
No, I said he should get his special loom made by a chemist, and he's like, no, people are going to ruin their... And I'm like, okay, it's their watch.
I know, but
Personal responsibility.
I want to have... You want to have a product that's one and done, Just like spray foam. It sticks to everything.
Including the hoodie.
Yeah, that's all this yellow stuff that's on here. It's all the spray foam that went in here, which I still haven't trimmed off. I will.
You can see around the thingy.
What?
Okay. Watching brief. Hi, both. Great vid as always. I'm a fan of Belmatics, but I don't think they are collectible as they used to be. Harder to find folk who like to service them. Parts are getting expensive. I also don't think they are holding their value compared to other vintage Seikos. I have 3, and I know I paid too much for 2 of them. They are not holding value. Still, I like them a lot. Another question, if I may.
Should I answer
was that a question?
That was the first one, talking about Belmatics.
I know, but that wasn't a question.
I guess so, but he wanted to talk about their falling value, which actually I think is something that's pretty interesting.
Okay.
Belmatics, they're cool. They have... They're so technically beautiful. They're such gorgeous movements. They're beautifully made movements. Belmatic styling is either really super conservative or just insane 70s. There's kind of almost no in between. And so, super crazy, restrained business watches aren't really the thing right now. But the sort of insane, blobby... Some of them are very pretty, but they were really big into like cuff bracelets, and I just think they never found their bearing stylistically, for me anyway. I like them, but I never wear them. When I first got into the Seiko scene, God, however many
Mercedes.
It's
like
not
two
20
or
years.
three.
Yeah, it's been a while, but I remember there was a forum that was dedicated just to Bellmatics, the Bellmatics forum, and when the old forum started up, they sort of that when they came from Watch You Seek, they had to make concessions to get the Bellmatic forum to join the old forum, and they had to. One of the concessions is that Bellmatics had to have their own separate area, not mixed with the general thing. I don't know, man, but it's just funny. More and more as time has gone by.
Message board drama.
Yeah, more and more as time.
Favorite kind of drama.
They're beautiful watches. They don't seem to have a big collector base, but I don't think that's because of any real inherent thing that I've been discussing or imagining. I think it's because we're getting too far away from when these watches were new, and people now who are getting into the game, they're most of people they don't have the options that we had for buying cheap watches and figuring out what we liked. It's they come in and they're going to have to spend real money if they want to get into this, and so they're going to be cautious, which is absolutely admirable and what I would suggest. And they're going to want to usually they stay with one of the two or three known models, 6138 Panda, 6139, 6000 Blank Pogue, that kind of thing. 6105 Diver, 6309 Diver, those. And they're all really expensive, which means all the energy is being sucked up by these watches, and the other ones just sitting around begging, which is too bad. Bellmatics are amazing watches. What?
Nothing. I don't have anything to say, so I'm just listening.
I don't think it's one of the few watch models I've never actually made for you.
Well, because I don't want one. They're annoying to work on.
No, they're not. Well, no. The funny thing is,
what did we talk about last week?
But the weird thing is when I'm not working on one, I think about them and I'm like, they're not that. They're beautiful, beautiful movements. The whole alarm setting calendar side can be a real pain in the ass, but nothing. You know what the worst part about a Bellmatic is?
What?
It's not even the fact that it has dual mainsprings. No. All of the weird interlinking crap in the keyless works for pulling the crown and setting the time and setting your alarm. It's got like several U-shaped springs and then shepherd's crook springs that are in there and interlinking levers that also have like gears in there. It's nuts. It's nuts. Legitimately, the last time I took a Bellmatic apart, not a majority, but by no means a small amount of time was spent just on the Helix works. It's extremely exciting. They're a pain in the ass. But I love them, but I never wear them. I've got some nice ones.
Okay.
The one I was really excited about was the one with the MACD SOG style dial, black with block Arabic numbers, very pretty. Now belongs to Ryan Walters. But there was, I don't know, Bellmatics, man. They're awesome. I just never wear them.
I just like the name.
I wish they'd kept going. I understand the movement was probably terribly expensive to make. If I had $1 million billion and a factory somewhere full of people, I'd buy every Bellmatic I could, Bellmatic movement I could, and maybe build a new case around it.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just, it's a one-time use thing. But I have found there has been some times when I have worn them when that little alarm actually did come in handy. Hey, it's like when I was wearing the Astronaut. Mm-hmm. When we had an Astronaut. And I actually, when I was wearing it, I ended up using it all the time. Mm-hmm. No, I really did. It had timer built in, and it's so easy to use because instead of pushing buttons, you rotate the bezel. I used the timer all the time. I was even using the counter function. I'm really astonished. So, you got to try it to see if it works for you.
Okay, in the next part, I have a 7016 Monaco. It is correct that Seiko made a specialized tool just to remove the hands off Bellmatics. Wait, what's that have to do with the Monaco? What?
I don't know.
Whatever. He asked about... Here, you look at it. I'm really confused.
Oh, okay. I like to service the Bellmatics, but boy, it's a pain in the ass. Or it can be. Parts are getting expensive. Parts watches, though, not as much. There's no like special. The only special tool with a 7016, the big thing about it, okay, for those of you who don't know, in the late 60s, but through the 70s, Seiko had two divisions, Daini and Suwa. At that time, Daini and Suwa were both making chronographs. Everybody knows the Suwa chronographs, 6139 Pogue, 6138 Panda, that kind of stuff. The Monaco was a product was a product of the Daini division, and they're super cool. A different design philosophy in terms of how the movements are made. There's a lot more single piece stamped parts in the Daini watch, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's actually, in terms of like servicing, they're actually not that bad to service, because unless they've gotten water inside, and then that's terrible. But because they rust like crazy people. But they're a pretty good thing. The only thing with the 7016s, they have a lower register that instead of just a single minute counter hand, it's got a minute hand and a 12-hour hand, 24-hour hand. I can't concentrate because the cat's trying to kill me.
The cat's trying to kill you.
But the lower hand, the upper one is a normal hand. It's a hand with the shaft. There you go. The lower one is a big, wide, flat hand, and the pinion on that hand is like a big tube. And so it has a big gripping surface, big gripping surface. Instead of just a little bit of surface holding a little pinion, you have the much wider wheel underneath it, and the whole pinion is sitting there. So basically what happens 97% of the time, unless you're really careful, you just pull the flat part off and the pinion is still sitting in the watch.
Wow.
That's what happens a lot. There may be a special tool to remove it. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't own one. So anyway, what was I saying?
I don't know. I was thinking.
It happens.
Yeah.
I often think, and then I'm like, why am I in this room?
A specialized tool.
Oh yeah, talking about the 7016s. Anyway, just be super careful. I haven't seen the tool. If anybody out there knows what the tool is or has one, and you feel like saving me the trouble of Googling for 5 minutes, then send it to me. I'd love to see it. Okay.
Okay.
The picture, not the tool.
Lawson Marr. Hey Spencer, totally unrelated question, but when did Seiko first start producing the orange dial 7548s? Earliest I could find in the catalogs was 1981.
She did all the research on this. My complete and sole contribution is I went and found mine and I put it on.
And it's from 1981?
And it is in fact from 1981. So, do you remember what month this was?
August.
August 81. So now what we got to do is we got to start thinking about who has the earliest date. What's the month that these started coming out? Anybody know? I mean, we could go through. No, it would show you year by year if you were looking through the catalog. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't show you month by month, unless you happen to. Well, no, even that. I don't think that would tell you either. Mm-mm. We need serial numbers. Mm-hmm. Okay, so serial numbers, please.
Okay, about the 6138 0017 from Plain Clothes Horse. That bezel insert is gorgeous. Yeah,
you see, there's just most of these Seikos, even ones that don't really look worn. When you see a true new NOS part, one that's never been used, it's never been put on a watch, and there's something about it that there's just this little, you can tell from a mile away. And with care, that one could keep looking like that. They're very, very strong in terms of it's not even printing, it's anodizing. So they, as far as I understand it, and they're extremely durable. So it'll change how it looks, but it'll always be legible and beautiful unless you beat the hell out of it. But boy, new old stock, that's its own piece of business. What up?
Nothing. Okay. Kirkster131. Exciting. Seeing your own watch is pretty exciting.
That's a good watch, man. It's a good watch. I was really pleased looking at that watch. It was nice. It looked, a lot of times I look at watches when I open them up and other people have worked on them and I'm like, not that I'm any great shakes, seriously, but I mean, sometimes you open up a watch and it's like, ooh, and I've seen some unpleasant things, but man, I opened this up. It was great. It was all nice and clean, super shiny. In fact, for a second there, I was looking at it when I pulled the bridge, when I pulled the train bridge and I pulled the wheels and then the center wheel bridge, I was looking at it and I'm like, this thing still has lubrication on the lower third pivot. I'm like, I started thinking, I was like, did this thing get serviced? Did I service it and I forgot? It's always a thing. You never know. My signature was not in it, and it was the cap jewels were dry, so it definitely needed service. Boy, but it just took it beautifully. It was really, really nice watch. It was a privilege to see, and that's one of those things. Like the color, the sweep hand. Again, you talk about NOS. There's just that edge to the orange. But
I'm connected to the speaker that the cat is on, and I just got notifications, and she's looking at the speaker like, what?
yeah. Anyway, you should hopefully have it, and hope it's doing great for you.
Okay, last one. Bruce Barlow. Hilarious hearing stories about Pongo.
He was a good dog, man. He was a smart guy.
Well, yeah, good dog.
Oh, when he was on the hunt for grasshoppers, he was great.
So cute.
Oh my God, he loved it. In the last months of his life, he was trying to get him, but he was mostly blind at that point and deaf, and he couldn't get him. But boy, when he was in his prime.
If you find the video, you should tack it on at the end.
Oh, I know where the video is.
Okay, well, I think that they deserve to see that amazingness.
He just, think about the last couple of years with the huge grasshopper crops we've had. Boy, he would have been the happiest dog there ever was.
Yep. And he and Finny could have worked together.
They
Finny,
could have.
Our gray cat, he likes to run outside, get a grasshopper, and then run back in under the table and eat it.
Yeah, he does. And he's real, like Mission Impossible. Boom, 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 boom. And because he's not an outdoor cat at all. So he started doing this by accident when it was hot during the summer. We didn't realize it. But, oh, yeah, grasshoppers. He figured out that's the good stuff. We actually read about the nutritional information on a grasshopper.
He would eat, 4 or 5. And
big fat ones, too.
Yeah, and then I realized that I forgot to feed him breakfast, but he was asleep, so he got his own breakfast.
He did.
Maybe that's why he's so frantic and upset now.
Well, it could be. I mean, he was literally getting, fresh protein off the hoof. It's like he's going to go out in the back, to his own North 40. Oh, yeah, but it's been great crop year for grasshoppers last couple of years. Nothing else grows, but the grasshoppers are happy.
Yeah, they eat it all.
They do eat it all, but then Finny gets to them.
Yes.
That's it. Was there anything else?
Nope.
Okay, I think the only other thing is I am very much trying to get back into the swing of things. One of the things I haven't been doing, it's just been such a weird year. Ammonites. I haven't been doing anything about ammonites. But you know what's astonishing? This isn't an ammonite. Where did we find this one? We were
Was it in Loveland?
I think it... Was it in Loveland? No, I think...
Did you get it by Sprouts?
I think I did get this one by Sprouts, or I got it from the place by Willow's doctor place. It's fossilized wood. I mean, that's what it says. I look at it and I'm like, sometimes the textures on this thing kind of look like bone to me. And this was just sitting there in a gravel parking lot. But you can see all these sections opened up. It's cool. So I want to get back into the swing of ammonites because I think people, they haven't heard the word. And I'm here to spread the good news.
The good news of the ammonites.
The ammonites are everywhere. They're all over the place. Everywhere.
It got to the point
watching me.
At the height of his ammonite craze, Willow was like, "Stop talking about ammonite."
But the thing is, I've actually kind of forgotten about it because I forgot that nobody else knows about it. So we're just cruising around. Everywhere we go, we stop. And if there's rocks, we look. She loves rocks. Don't you love rocks? She loves rocks. And so we look everywhere we go, and we get some cool ones, and it's kind of neat and everything. But then I'll remember, no one else knows.
Somebody else has to know.
How? It's just the oddest thing in the world. If somebody else knows about this, please let me know.
He says every rock is an ammonite.
Well,
unless it's a fossil like that.
Yeah, based on my sample size, our sample size, which is huge. Okay, I was thinking about this the other day. Go to any one of these gravel lots. You're chugging through the city somewhere. Pick any 10 rocks. Every single one. Every one will be an ammonite.
Wow, I guess you have the new premise for a video.
Well,
we drive around town when it's not snowy.
But it's not exciting because I won't be wrong. It's crazy. It's gotten to the point now that we've had to become quite discriminating on what we will or won't take. Because so many of them, they're just the same, so you really have to start looking for the outliers.
I'm going to make a note for the future when it's spring and not freaking freezing that we should go do that.
We should. Also, you found that piece of bone, remember?
No.
You found a piece of bone, and you even put it on Reddit, and they were like, that's not a piece of bone.
Oh, right.
And your tongue sticks to it. It's bone. That's one of the things. If you find a bone fossil, you stick it to your tongue, and because of the porous nature of it, it'll stick your tongue to it. And then you'll become part dinosaur.
Wow.
I'm part dinosaur every time we go to Chick-fil-A.
Yes, it's true.
Anyway, you were looking up something?
No, I was going to put in go do a thing when it's warm out.
Yeah, I'm all about doing things.
Okay, I'll put it then.
Yeah. This one's really cool. I really want to get more information, really look at it and figure out exactly what this thing was. Because it's cool. Anyway, it's too cold to do anything now.
I guess that's it. We're kind of boring.
We're as boring as we ever were.
Well, yeah, kind of low energy.
I guess so, man. I'm still blown away by this whole family thing.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, well, I'll give you one fact. One. I found a brand new cousin. Never knew about before.
First cousin.
First cousin. Brand new first cousin. Never knew about them. My great-grandmother's wedding, they had 1,800 guests. They had 700 invited guests just for the reception. Who has that many guests at a wedding? Why would anybody want 1,800 people to a wedding? How much would that cost? This was in the late 1800s. How much would that cost? How much would it cost to have 1,800 guests to a wedding in 1880? No.
Was it in Stockbridge?
It was in Stockbridge. It was in Stockbridge.
How'd they fit that many people in Stockbridge?
There's a lot of farmland around Stockbridge.
I know.
Stockbridge, Massachusetts, by the way, for those of you who are keeping score, and I imagine that many of you are, that is where Norman Rockwell is from.
Yes, I've been to that museum 5 times.
Yeah, so anyway, if anybody has a clue, let's say 1900, because I don't really remember the year, how much would a fully catered wedding in Massachusetts in the year 1900 potentially run for 1,800 guests and 700 people at the reception? Now, I would assume that those two populations can probably be overlapped. Mm-hmm. I think we'd probably just say, well, because you got 1,800 people and everybody has to stand somewhere. And then you're feeding 700 people. So what are you doing with the other people? Where are the other 900 people going?
Out?
Well, you're going to just kick 900 people out of your wedding?
I've heard lots of not nice things about your great-grandmother.
She was, by all accounts, a terrible person.
Well, you told us everybody that last time, I think.
I just like to point it out.
Okay.
Yeah, she was the worst kind of rich daddy's girl you can imagine. And so, 1,800 guests at the wedding didn't make her any nicer.
Look up Walter Leighton Clark, and the wiki will come up, and then you'll know what relative he is talking about.
Walter Leighton Clark, big deal in his day. No one knows his name now. Okay, that's it.
That's it.
Okay, see you, folks. Say goodbye, Rocket. What? No? Come here. Who's a Rocket? Okay, bye-bye.